Oh, man. RY3. RY3, I'm guessing.
RY3.
RYE3, but sure, man.
With the backwards E.
Why not? You only live once. We've already been drinking, so screw it.
We're already warmed up.
That's right. We're like, man. So we tried a couple different ryes. We tried this one and the Smooth Ambler, Old Scout. Both of them phenomenal. Spoiler alert.
Excellent. They are both really good. And very different.
Yeah, for sure. This one, I picked it up. I got to taste it up in Spring Hill at Elixir. And it's 3 different mash bills at 3 different age statements. And what I just kept coming across is it's just so well balanced. You know what I mean?
Straight from the nose, too.
Yeah. Like it's... Which I found out, actually, when me and Mick were talking, is it's finished in rum casks. And I didn't even know that when I tasted it, but knowing it, I can kind of pick up some of that, you know what I mean? A little bit of that rum fruitiness, sweetness, but...
I mean, it's now that I've read it, it's pretty obvious, but the rye spelt with the 3 backwards, because it's 3 blends of rye. That's
right.
Pretty clever.
So, but yeah, I think it's on the nose. You get rye, obviously.
Some rye
spice. Weird, right?
Wonder where that part comes from.
There's some caramel. There's fruitiness.
I get the pastry sweetness.
Mm-hmm. Ooh, pastry, yeah.
If I go into a nose of a rye and I get that pastry sweetness, I start,
getting excited.
Really starting to look forward to it.
Mick is the resident rye expert.
I do love my ryes.
Yeah. Mick loves all ryes.
I do.
High rye, low rye, all rye.
Yeah.
All rye, all rye, all rye.
All rye, all rye, all rye.
But no, like it's just, like you said, even on the nose, the first nose is just so well balanced. Damn. Anyway, I'm gonna get
Cheers.
In here. Cheers.
What was this, 50%?
Yeah.
100 proof, right?
Yeah, 100 proof.
It's got and it's just right for this rye.
Mm-hmm. It really is. It's not...
You get the heat first, but then the sweetness that just seems to continue to build after you've tasted it.
Sweetness, like you said, more of that rye spice.
Yeah.
But it's somewhere between that, like, you get the mintiness or the dill of a really high rye, but also at the same time, like, you get a lot of that earthy sweetness that I like, that I'm a big fan of in, like, your 51 to 60, 65% ryes. So
that sweetness on this, I kind of taste it more like a honeysuckle, like out of a flower. Mm-hmm. That type of sweetness versus a honey that's a thicker, darker sweetness.
Okay,
it's very refreshing and light.
I think refreshing is a great word for it. It is. This might be blasphemy to some of you guys, but I was just thinking I'd like a nice tall glass of this with some ice on a hot summer day. Man, that would...
I get it. It's just fresh is the word that comes to mind. It's crisp.
Yeah, like I like a lot of Vietnamese food. And to me, the word that comes to mind is that fresh. The cilantro, the basil, all that.
Yeah. The
bright green, freshness. And this is what that's like to me. Just overall good.
It is.
You know what I mean?
Maybe a little almond. That's now that I've drank it, I'm just sitting there tasting
dissecting
what's left in there. Yeah, kind of like, the almond milk more than it's not the nuttiness, but when you have the almond milk and it just has that sweetness to it.
Mm-hmm. I was real big into drinking like the vanilla, unsweetened vanilla almond milk for a while. And yeah, that almond milk kind of aspect.
Just kind of leaves that taste in your mouth after you've finished it.
Yeah, which I'm not upset about.
No, it's a delicious.
So what they say? These guys were out of Pennsylvania or something. Oh, Virginia Beach, Virginia. Same thing as Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
If you guys didn't know.
Right
They're
next door.
they're totally the same thing.
They're the state right next door to the state that's next door to that state.
Right, yeah. If you follow that line long enough, they're like, zoom that map out real far and it's like right there.
Yeah, on the same coast.
Yeah. They're all east of the Mississippi. It's all the same.
It'd be interesting to find out what rum cask they finished this with.
They did say vintage.
They said vintage rum cask, which is really interesting. Maybe it's some very aged.
Hopefully they're not too vintage, otherwise they might leak a lot.
Yeah, I was thinking maybe they found a pirate ship somewhere, full of vintage rum, and they're like, oh, we'll put our rye in there. Probably not, but
it would make for a great story, though.
It would. Yeah, I think in marketing, you're allowed to make some stuff up.
Right.
In marketing.
Trust me, the bourbon industry is full of marketing. I think my favorite is, oh, we found these lost barrels.
The lost
and it's
barrels.
like, oh, so you mean you weren't paying Uncle Sam for them, is what I heard. Because I bet you were. I bet you paid taxes on every one of those barrels every year.
Don't tell the government, but these are our barrels here that we lost for 30 years.
We forgot about 30 years ago. Uncle Sam's going to come knocking for their paycheck.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because they have to pay every year that those are in storage. So
They do, that's right.
Yep.
How does that work with the angel share?
Sucks to be you.
When they only get 80 barrels, they're like, hey, I want my tax back on the other 90 barrels I'm missing.
It's the government. They don't care about you. Or your barrels or your angel. That's your problem.
As they say, it doesn't work like that. This is really good.
And like I said, it's just really well balanced. Like you get all of those aspects from the different ages, different mash bills. Just whoever blended this, I'm super impressed. Super impressed.
Yeah, so am I. You get the mintiness, you get the dill in there, but it's not like some where it's very overpowering.
Like the Willet?
Like the Willet, yeah. I mean, the Willet is very strong. I'd even say pickles.
Yeah, yeah. Which, I like the Willet family estate. Mick likes the Willet family estate. But if that's not your thing, I'd try that out.
I think the first time I tried that, I was, Kyle and I were talking about different bourbons and different whiskeys, and we tried a few, and he said, you like rye. You forgot to hit record?
I think so.
We shall see. Let's do it again.
Oh, we're recording.
To the pirates. Yeah. I'll remember that trick in future. I'll just walk over there when I really like it, hit stop, and we'll have to do it again.
If you guys didn't know, this is fucking amateur hour.
Absolutely. But when you picked out and you were like, okay, when I was describing what I like, and you says, try this, and you brought the Willet out, and you were spot on, because I was just like, wow, what is this?
Like, I really like that really minty rye, and I was like, I got one for you, buddy.
And you were not wrong.
It's just so good. It's balanced, fresh.
Now, after drinking it and then drinking some water, now more of that herbal notes, the spices come out of it. But the taste is still there.
Which I wonder what that would do with a little bit of water.
We shall experiment.
We'll find out. I say a little bit, and I'm probably going to screw this up.
So I don't know if you've seen me do this before, and typically I go to add a little bit of water, and I end up with a little bit of bourbon or a little bit of whiskey.
That's usually what I do.
I'm going to try and be more professional about this. There's half a capful.
There you go.
Look at that. To be exact, that is half a capful.
I do that with balsamic vinegar sometimes. So, fun tip. If you're cooking and you add too much salt to something, add just a few drops of balsamic vinegar.
Really?
And it will neutralize a lot of that salt taste.
Did not know that.
Learned that in culinary school.
Mm.
But, I mean, it is literally just a few drops.
The nose is still right there.
Yeah, it got a little bit lighter for me. I don't know how much water I added. Probably a good bit.
Maybe a little more than half a cupful.
Yeah, it's still good. It's not upsetting at all. It's just a little bit lighter. That's a little more nutty, a little more
Yeah. There you go.
fruity,
It changed it. I just didn't know how, but yes.
fruity almost, but
I feel like the mint's kind of dropped down the mintiness in it in the center.
yeah, it has. You're absolutely right.
It definitely got creamier.
Mm-hmm.
But if you drew a curve of the taste before it was like this, now it's kind of more
Spread out a little bit more, but it's definitely a little more muted. But no, I'm not mad at that at all. It didn't ruin it one bit.
Not at all. It can stand up to some water.
So come summertime, a big old glass of that with some ice in it.
I wonder if there's
Sitting
a
outside a
scale.
hot day.
Should make a scale on which bourbons hold up to water. Some of them just don't.
Some of them don't.
Some of them just collapse.
I think Four Roses is one that usually does pretty well. But no, some bourbons just do not at all. Like they either get really acidic or they just totally lose everything, or you know what I mean? Like I'd say from doing all these episodes, I think we're at 125 or something now. I'd say probably for me, 70 to 80% don't really benefit from water.
Yep.
Just off the top of my head, I'd say 7 to 8 out of 10 just don't help. But those 2 or 3 that it does,
with the water, this really brings out the baking spices on the finish now. It's just a little hotter, a little spicier on the finish.
I get almost like a pie crust in there.
Yeah, I was getting that on the nose when we first nosed it.
So, but anyway, yeah, RY3. I'm a fan.
Good job.
Yeah,
Thumbs up.
You guys did awesome. So appreciate it, and appreciate all you guys out there. If you don't know already, and you made it this long in the video, we have 3 barrels coming this year. Buffalo Trace 1792 full proof and a Four Roses barrel strength single barrel. So be sure to head over to the Nation and keep an eye on that stuff. And they will go to Patreon members first. So you Patreon members, don't worry, because you guys take care of us. We'll take care of you. And other than that, you got anything?
Awesome. Just what a great job Chad did organizing this Four Roses barrel.
Yeah.
I mean, it's going to a really good cause. It's a charity
it is,
involved.
Canines for Warriors is the charity that it's going to. So it is a charity barrel. And it's, like you said, it's a great cause. It really is. It takes dogs and rehabilitates them for veterans that are mentally not where, PTSD, whatever the case may be.
Yeah.
Being a veteran myself, I have a lot of friends that deal with all sorts of issues like that, and it really sucks. So they're helping these and helping the dogs at the same time, and yeah, it's just an overall good.
Yeah, it's something that everybody
really
can get behind and support. So,
yeah.
So that's good. I think you'll see some more charity type events from Bourbon Blind in the future. Carl was talking about that, looking at different things that we can do to help charities and
I think I'm going to take at least a case out of every barrel that we do and use them for charity auctions or something to that effect, just to help out, wherever we can. So like I said, check out the Nation and keep an eye on those, Bourbon Blind Nation on Facebook. Patreon link in the description if you want to be supporting all of what we do. And until Friday noon Central next week, cheers and drink blind.
Drink blind.